way to get you ready in the mood for Jamie and Endar's show. Ella Fitzgerald, Lady is a Tramp. Thanks for listening. It's Radio 2 on the BBC Sounds app on your smart speaker and 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 9 o'clock. This is Harvey Cook. The terror threat level in Northern Ireland has been raised from substantial to severe, meaning an attack is highly likely. Last month, dissident Republicans shot and seriously wounded a senior detective in Omagh. Next month, President Biden is expected to visit the country to mark the 25th anniversary of the Good Friday Agreement. Our correspondent in Belfast, Emma Vardy, says residents are more disappointed at the change than alarmed.
That is because many people in Northern Ireland remember a much darker history, the 30 years of conflict that existed here that was largely brought to an end by the peace agreement, the Good Friday Agreement 25 years ago. But as that anniversary is just round the corner, it's about to be marked, there's certainly dismay here that this really underlines the fact that even a quarter of a century on in Northern Ireland, there continue to be groups which still recruit young people and are still determined to pursue violence.
The Scottish Finance Secretary Kate Forbes is leaving the government at Holyrood after coming second in the SNP leadership contest. She's turned down a job offer from the new First Minister, Humza Yousaf. A report claims patient safety at University Hospitals Birmingham could be at risk due to a corrosive culture. Workers at the NHS Trust told a review that senior leaders were overzealous and coercive, and there was a toxic atmosphere. The Trust says improvements are underway. Hundreds of thousands of people have marched to Paris and other French cities in protest against President Macron's decision to raise the pension age to 64. Police fired tear gas at crowds in Paris. Loic Valder from the police union UNSER says bystanders are now joining in with violent demonstrations.
I think after the COVID, after everything that happened to France, the inflation and everything, people start to be really tense. And that doesn't help to reduce the violence against the police, because the police is representing the state. It can also explain why we have more and more police officers hurt.
Jeremy Corbyn says he won't be intimidated into silence after he was blocked from running as a Labour candidate. The party's governing body approved a motion to try to prevent the former Labour leader contesting Islington North at the next election. Details of the big lunch, an event inviting everyone to celebrate the coronation of King Charles III on May the 6th, have been revealed. Neighbours and communities across the UK are being urged to come together during the bank holiday for food and fun. Captain Tom Windsor-Clive, a soldier who'll be working across the royal events in London, celebrated early at the launch today.
Over the weekend it's going to be hectic. It's going to be part of such a big, special weekend, the first coronation in over 50 years, and especially to come together now as a family to then celebrate on the coronation weekend and afterwards is going to be important.
And the Guardian newspaper has apologised for its founder's role in transatlantic slavery 200 years ago. John Edward Taylor and his financial backers were heavily involved in the cotton trade in the early 1800s. And that's the BBC News at 3 minutes past 9.
BBC Radio 2.
This is Jamie Cullum.
Jamie Cullum. On BBC Radio 2.
Hello, this is Jamie Cullum. Very glad to be back with another hour of the best in jazz right here on BBC Radio 2. And this week is the first of 3 shows dedicated to one of the most important musicians of the 20th century, and certainly my favourite, the singer, songwriter, piano player, composer and activist Nina Simone. Now, it would have been her 90th birthday this year, so I've decided to mark the occasion by inviting some of my favourite current musicians to Maida Vale to perform exclusive cover versions of Nina classics and to chat about what she means to them. I'll tell you about who my guest is today, plus talk about all of the other music I've got coming up after this from 1965. It is, of course, Nina Simone and Feeling Good.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky.